from 2021 through 2024, I lived in Cambridge because I was attending divinity school. At the end of 2024, I decided I was applying for PhDs, and so I extended my lease one more year to stay in Cambridge. But now, as the end of 2025 comes and I see myself having to let go of the lease because I no longer live there, I find that I don't want to. I don't want to let go of the stories that I live there, of the memories that I have there, of the joy that I found there. I don't want to let go of the lease, but I also know that keeping an apartment in Cambridge makes absolutely no sense. Why is that decision so hard? My guest today is bringing me a question that touches on my own question about Cambridge. And I am looking forward to seeing where this conversation will take us. I'm Mauricio Bruce, and this is The Real Question. Hi, Sophie. Welcome to the show.
Kia ora, how are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
So I have many questions, but before that, I'll start the show by asking you if you could tell me anything about yourself. What would it be? What would you like to tell us?
I think it's important to know that I was a third culture kid, so I grew up in a place that neither of my parents came from, which has left me with no roots and very firm opinions about chocolate and tea and that kind of thing.
Okay, so you're going to have to tell us more about that. Where did you grow up and where did your parents come from?
So I grew up in Belgium. My mother was from New Zealand and my father is British. And so, yes, a little bit of a mixture.
Well, a very interesting mixture. And where are you now?
I'm in New Zealand. I'm down in the far south of New Zealand.
Oh, beautiful. I am a big fan of your country.
It's a good place.
But you've come here to ask me something else. And so I'm really curious. What's your question?
I want to know whether I should think about moving into town.
Okay. Should I think of moving into town? And so where do you live?
So I live in a wee village outside of town. It's gorgeous. I've got sheep paddocks up behind me and I can see the sea if I stand in the right place and hold my tongue the right way. It's a beautiful place. I've got a house that faces north, which is really important for sun in this hemisphere. The problem being that there is two ways in and out. So you either go along the harbour into town or along the spine of the peninsula into town. And when it gets dodgy and you get a little bit stuck. And I don't know if that's sensible when you're getting older and when this is a place that you're wanting to stay until you get taken out in a box.
So let's talk about a lot of pieces there. When you say when it gets dodgy, are you referring to snow? Are you referring to mud? Are you referring to all of the above?
I'm referring a little bit less to snow. So we're at sea level, so, not so much. But yeah, I am referring to mud and landslips. So I spend a wee bit of time with the data on climate change, and I know that we're going to get more rain events here than we have before, sort of more big rain events rather than little bits coming down, but sort of more big deluges. And I'm on the side of an extinct volcano, which is fabulous. And also the ground gets a bit porridgey and slips quite easily. And I always thought that if the low road, so the one around the harbour, got covered by the sea, then I could just walk up the hill and go that way. But in big weather events, the land slips and the roads up the hill are closed. And so you get yourself sort of stuck in the village. Occasionally the water gets shut off. This is not every year, but if these events are going to get more often, and if this is going to be something that happens more when the climate changes, and if I'm going to be able to deal with it less as I grow much older, I just wonder whether this is sensible and whether I need to think about moving.
Okay. Let's think about it together. How far away is town?
About 15K? Don't know what that is in miles.
So it's about 15 kilometers away that you would move into town just to have what?
To have the peace of mind that a large amount of mud is not going to fall on my house.
Yeah, so it's to have safety in a way.
Yeah.
Safety, peace of mind. Are there comforts that town has for you?
Oh, walking distance to a library. Absolute joy. Who wouldn't want that? Walking distance to a place that does good croissant. That would be great.
Okay, so food, library, maybe more people around?
The more people around is one of the reasons I would stay out here.
Great. So tell me the other reasons that you would stay out there.
The nature and the fact that I have a beach at the end of my road that I can go swimming in the summer. I could go in the winter, but I'm not mad. The quiet, the bird song at dawn in the mornings, and the fact that I've got a garden that I've worked on really hard, and I've got fruit trees beginning to come up. I've got a wee creek going through my garden, so I've got the sound of running water all day, and I love it. I need to do something serious about my house. It's cold, it's old. It has no heating, which is not ideal. I don't live in the South Pacific. But yeah, I love it out here.
It sounds like you love, and it sounds lovely. The beach, the bird song, the fruit trees, the garden. It just sounds like you're immersed in nature.
I am. And that's really important to me. And that would be a thing. It's not the most built up of towns, but that would be a thing that would be really hard to leave.
Yeah. How long have you lived here?
So in this area, 25 years, this house for 15.
So I'm wondering, in the 15 years that you've lived there, have you thought to yourself, I should move closer to a library? Or are you okay with the distance that you are from the library?
I'm okay with the distance I am from the library. It's a joy, but you don't need to be there every day, apparently.
That's right. Like, that would be something that you could see as a plus if you moved, but it's not something that's telling you need to move now because you need a croissant and a library.
That's it. Both of those things are bonuses, but they're not a daily requirement.
Yeah. Okay. And now my next question is, why is this coming up right now? Has something happened recently? What brought your attention to the question?
A couple of things. We had a big rain event last October, and that was one of the ones where the hill up the road went, where we lost water, it was 2 days that I was cut off, but I lose my sense of humour when that happens. I find it really discomforting. So there's that. And I've also been giving expert comment on some climate change adaptation for a piece of land between me and town, and looking at the projections that they've put forwards and the amount of work that needs to be done to adapt that community to changing climate is massive. And I guess that you can see the data, and then you have to actually internalize what that data means for you. And that really gave me the visceral knowledge of what those data and what that change is going to mean for a huge community of people, which is not where I live, but you start thinking about what that means for you.
Absolutely. So can we talk about that rain event in October?
Yeah, sure.
When you say rain event, I live in Costa Rica, and I could say we have rain events every day. But tell me what you mean by a rain event in October.
What I mean by rain event in October, so yeah, rain's down here as well. Probably not as much as for you. But when it rains big after many weeks of rain, it sort of gets to a point where my colleagues work in civil defence emergency, and you get a call up to go and man the emergency bunker. So, a rain event gets called. And there are big, not cliffs, but sort of rock faces between the road and the sea, and there are big trees on that. And you sort of go through at speed because those trees sometimes just elegantly come into the middle of the road. And then I take my dog for a walk up the hill and everything feels okay, go down and check whether the school has been flooded again, because that happens reasonably regularly. You can see the water sort of digging channels through the road. And in the 10 years I've lived in this house, we've had two big ones where I've really lost my sense of humour. So one where my garden flooded, and then this one last year, which the road above me went and the road down to town went, and then you couldn't go the other way across the top of the peninsula either. Yeah, we were just stuck.
Yeah. As you describe all this, it just sounds like you're living a reality that a lot of us don't get to see up front.
Yes, maybe. And that's when those data that you see, or that I see, actually become real.
Absolutely.
And I guess the communities that I work with, I'm an environmental planner, but the communities that I work with are farming communities, and they are having to do major clear-ups of fences and, sheep and cattle getting out, and, the sort of rural roads that they live on getting washed away. And this is just happening more and more and more. And I guess maybe I'm of more use if I'm not losing my sense of humour quietly in a little village in the corner. If I'm in town. It's not that it wouldn't happen in town. It happens in town as well. But there'd be more, maybe there'd be more support. Maybe that's what I mean.
More support. And we sort of come back to, right? Like the support equals safety.
That's such a good question. No. Because we're all in it together out in the village as well. And it's not like there isn't support out here.
What did you discover, or what was the thought there?
I think my closest, most beloved people are in town.
Yeah.
But I have amazing support in the village. Yeah, but they're not my close people.
And so this is not only about support or about safety. This is about, I'm going to call it family. They don't need to be blood relatives, but about being with these people that are my tribe.
Yes, yeah. We had a New Year's Day a couple of years ago. The skies went red here. There were big fires, bushfires in Australia, and the smoke got blown over. And the skies were red and the birds were not singing. It was the creepiest thing. And I phoned my friends in town and said, I'm freaked out. I don't want to be by myself.
Yes.
Can I come and just spend the day with you? I didn't want to be in my house by myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this question's changing a little bit, because it's less, the question is still, should I think of moving into town? But it's less because of safety, and it's more because of something else as I'm hearing it now.
It's when I want to escape, when I'm freaked out, the people who I want to escape to are not next door, but they're 20 minutes away. But sometimes I can't escape.
That's right. It's a different kind of safety, right? It's for sure, it's also safety, but there's something emotional there. There's a closeness with those people that doesn't exist in the village.
Yeah, that's true.
When the October rain event happened, and it rained, and the road up went and the road down went, and you were without water for 2 days, and it was just you. I like how you say, I lost my humor. What was the fear? What was the biggest fear? What is it that shows up that takes your humor away?
Their inability to escape, inability to run.
Is it freedom? Your freedom gets taken away?
Yes. Yeah. I have no option. I need to stay and face the thing which I don't want to face. I'm trapped. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not only trapped physically, geographically, there's also a sense that you're trapped or isolated emotionally.
Yes, and that comes to a fore when I can't actually leave the house or be busy, I guess.
And so it's interesting that I guess you're wondering, should I leave the village before I get really trapped and can't leave anymore?
Yes.
Is in a way what...
That's 100% the question, yeah.
How long can I stay here and continue to be safe? And you know the data more than I do. You've seen the numbers and you've talked to people and you've lived through red skies and rain events.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know how fast this will be, or, are we talking that this will get worse next year or in 10 years? Or what does the data say to you?
And that's actually I don't know. They say, oh, there's going to be more. And yeah, but what does that mean? Yeah. And so we've got the Alpine Fault in the South Island, and that is due for an earthquake, a big one. And, people keep saying, oh, yes, it's due. And it's so uncertain. If somebody could give me a date, I could organise everything.
If anyone's listening and they have the date, please send it.
Be great. And they're not wrong. The big one is coming. But, is it 100 years? Is it 200 years? Is it tomorrow? Who knows?
Yeah. And so in a way, what I'm hearing is there's all this unsafety where you're living. There's a possibility that the road will go. There's a possibility that the mountain will fall. There's another possibility the other road will go. And then there's the possibility that none of that will happen.
Yeah.
It's this place of the unknown that also has you a little confused, right? Because you've seen it happen before, and they say there'll be more.
Yeah.
And so you say, okay, I think I should get out of here before there's a lot more. But what does that mean, and when should I go?
Yeah, and when's too early to jump? Because I love it here. Because I can turn off my social face and just be me out here and listen to the birds and play in the garden.
You have your paradise out there.
Yeah, I do.
And I wonder, that place of, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow or if it won't, right? When is the big one coming? That place of uncertainty, is it one that we all live in constantly? That these moments suddenly sort of bring forward and remind us? Or is there something different to this moment, you think?
No, I think you're absolutely right. It is something that we all live with. Maybe our islands are shakier than other places, but no, absolutely. I guess I'm getting older, and we all are, and needs are gonna get more. And I've seen beloved people leave it too long to do that move, leave it too long to do that downsize or that finding of sort of slightly greater comfort.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm there yet, but how many times do I really want to move before I get taken out in a box? I don't love moving. Who loves moving?
Nobody loves moving. So now that we've got this idea of sort of the extra weight of age, where you're saying, I'm going to age someday, and when do I want to move? And when is it going to be too hard to be here alone with rain events and with roads that fall away and with water that gets cut off and with red skies? You said you're not there yet. And I'm wondering, how do you know? What is the feeling that tells you, I'm not there yet?
I don't want to be there. I don't want to go yet. So I could do you the data. Believe me, I can do data. But it's triangulating that data with how I feel.
Yeah, but I wonder, is there a part of you that still says, if the road goes away, I can handle it?
There is, but it's what I was saying before, that sort of loss of sense of humour. I can deal with things for a really long time until I suddenly can't. And I'm not sure what's going to trigger that suddenly can't. I mean, obviously a rain event, but, if you're I don't know. Sick, having a bad day. Yeah. Sorry, that doesn't answer your question.
You're okay. Let me ask you this. If you were in town, do you think, this is a fantasy imagination question, but if you were in town, do you think you'd be less prone to losing your sense of humor?
No. No.
Tell me more.
I guess in my fantasy in-town life, I would have a house that was warm, that I didn't have to work so hard to actually get warm. If I stay, I've got to rebuild my house to make it into a safe, warm place that will keep me as I age. And if I move into town, I will need to find a place that is safe and warm and that will keep me as I age. So in that thought of, do I stay here and rebuild my house in a place that's wobbly and prone to loss of all the things? Yeah, do I do it here, or do I up and do it in town when a new place needs to be made or done?
Yeah, so when you say it that way, Sophie, if I decide to stay, I need to rebuild my house. It brings the decision to right now. It's not, I'm going to decide later when there are more rain events. It's like, I need to decide right now whether I'm going to rebuild my house or go.
Yeah, house is not going to last much longer. It's falling apart.
And so I'm curious, when we put it like that, this is not a decision for the future, for when the weather changes, for when the data comes through. It's a decision for right now. I need to make this place safe and comfortable for me now, or I need to go find a place that's safe and comfortable. It's not about when the sea rises or when about the road falls. It's about right now.
Next 5 years as opposed to the next 20. Yes, yeah. But is this the place that I do it, or do I do it in town? I know what my heart wants to do, which is stay here. I would love to build something here that is warm, that does water recycling properly. Such a nerd. That will last well past when I'm gone. Yeah.
And so my next question is, what's stopping you from starting that project? Is it everything we've talked about, or is there something else that's saying?
It's everything we've talked about. Why would I put effort and money and roots into somewhere here that lasts me 5 years or 10 years?
Is your joy a good enough reason?
No. I've looked at yes, of course it is. It's my boring scientist numbers brain going up against my soul that wakes up in the morning and lies in bed and listens to the dawn chorus and tries to identify every single bird in it because it makes me happy.
Is that a good reason?
It's a good reason, but is it a sensible reason?
Oof. That's a great question. And we'd have to define sensible.
And that's when the scientist's brain kicks in, eh? This is what the data shows. Yeah.
So I'm not trying to argue for one side or for the other. And yet, as I hear you talk about your little bit of paradise and what a sacrifice it would be to leave that area, and then your other part come and say, but the numbers and the road and the rain events and my loss of humor. And I wonder if you put both of those on a scale right now, do they tip in one direction or the other? Is one of those voices stronger?
Yeah, the stay voice.
The stay voice.
Yeah. Because even looking at those numbers, I've lived in this house for 15 years, and we've had maybe 3 times where it's been hard, which actually in 15 years is not bad. They might just feel big. And if I could do a wee bit more, I was going to say resilience. I don't mean that. It's one of my least favourite words. But a little bit of prep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a food stash. I do not have bottles of water. Why don't I do that? It's something that worries me so much, and I haven't done the prep.
Yeah. You have all the data.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Sorry.
And I'm curious, why haven't you done that? Do you know?
Is it calling in bad things? Maybe.
If I prepare?
Yeah, we bet.
But if I don't prepare?
I will just sit and worry about it. Which is really great.
Yeah, I bet. It really helps your humor.
Totally. Yeah. Doesn't cause sense of humour loss in any way, shape or form.
I have a logistics question that I want to ask, and I just want to know how things work in New Zealand. If you build your house, you build a new house, and it's wonderful, and it's warm, and it amplifies the bird sounds, and it's a perfect house, and you decide to sell it in 10 years, is it possible? Do you, could you sell that house and move into town in 10 years? Or is it like, if I build the house, there's no moving ever?
Of course I could. Yeah, it's the how many moves do I want to do in my life question much more than the this would be unsellable question, unless the village goes, but then we've all got problems. Yeah.
Yep. But I think then I understand how many times do I want to move. But I would say, let's think of the question less that way and more, how much longer do you want to listen to birdsong and eat from your fruit trees and listen to the creek?
As long as I possibly can.
Yeah. So does that help outweigh the stress of the move while you build?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
To know that you've built this paradise for yourself that really expresses your needs and your joys, and that you get to be there for as long as you can.
And hopefully I will know when it's time to go.
Yeah. And again, if a listener has the date, we'd appreciate it.
100%.
So we started this by asking, should I think of moving into town? And I think the question's changed a little bit, but I'm wondering what you're feeling.
I guess I'm feeling calmer because it's not something that I've really talked to anybody about. It's been a very internal, but the data, but my heart, but the data, but my heart.
Yeah.
And triangulating those two things is one of the jobs of my life, I think.
I think that's so beautiful because I think a lot of us have that job too, that inner job. I'm just going to call them the voice of the outside and the voice of the inside. Like the outside data and the inside data. Mm-hmm. They might not be the same data that you have, but I think we all have all this outside data and all this inside data, and that triangulation is hard.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, with this conversation, it's become a question about moving. But it's really a question about what those two voices are saying inside you.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Sophie, this has been such a joyful and beautiful conversation, and I really appreciate the opportunity to have it with you.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate thinking this through with you.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your world with us. This has been The Real Question. Our show is funded through our Patreon at patreon.com/realquestionpod. Another way you can support this show is by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Real Question Pod. We are always looking for more guests. Go to our website, realquestionpod.com, and submit your question. I would really love to sit down and have a conversation with you. We love to shout out our BFF tier patrons, Renee Underhill, Amanda Schramm, Christina Igu Brandon, and Jackson Paul Keeley. Thank you, guys. We are a Not Sorry production. Our co-executive producers are Vanessa Zoltan and Ariana Nettleman. We are edited and produced by Ariana Nettleman. Music is by Nick Bowl, and we are distributed by Acast. Support for this show comes from the Fetzer Institute. Thank you, Sophie, for joining us today. Thank you for giving us access to that little bit of paradise that you have on the southern tip of New Zealand. And thanks as always to our wonderful team. Julia Argy, Nikki Zoltan, AJ Yaramas, Anissa Ahmed, Danny Langley, Courtney Brown, Casper Turkile, and Stephanie Paulsell. This has been another episode of The Real Question. Join us next week for another conversation and another question.